Hello students, let us start our next session with chapter number 7, alternating current. These topics we have already done. Let us start this session with the example, that is a 7.1. A light bulb is rated at 100 volt for a 220 volt supply. Find the resistance of the bulb, the peak voltage of the source, and the RMS current through the bulb. So three quantities we need to determine: the resistance, peak voltage, and RMS current. For that, two quantities are already given. Power, P equals to 100 volt, and voltage, that is a 220 volt. So as we know the power equation, P equals to I square R, or I into V, or V square by R. Any of the way the voltage power value can be represented. So here two quantities are given, power and voltage, and need to determine the resistor. So from these three equations, one equation is related, which are having three variables: power, voltage, and resistor. That is a P equals to V square by R. So let us use the same equation over here. P equals to V square by R, and make the subject of formula R. So it would be V square by P. So place the value of voltage and power and determine the resistance value. It would be 484 ohm. Now we want to get the value of peak voltage of the source. So peak voltage we can get it by having a root 2. So Vm, as we know, voltage equals to Vm by root 2. V equals to Vm by root 2. So now make the subject of formula Vm. So it would be root 2 into V. So place the value of voltage 220 volt over here. So we able to get the maximum value of the voltage, that is 311 volt. Now we want to get the RMS current value, right? So for that, P equals to VI equation we can directly use. Power and voltage is given. So from P equals to VI, make the subject of formula I. It would be P by V. Place the given value, 100 volt of power and 220 volt voltage, and get the current value. It would be 0.45 ampere. Now let us define that, as we have discussed, phase difference between the voltage and generated current by connecting the resistor with the AC source is 0. So the same things we can represent over here with the graphical method, and that is known as a phasors or the phasor diagram. In that we can get the relationship between voltage and current for the AC circuit. So the analysis we can do it from here. That phasor is a vector that rotates from the origin with the angular frequency omega. So the vertical components of phasors V and I represent sinusoidally varying V and I component. So here we are going to denote with capital V and capital I. It shows amplitude in that particular phase angle, and that is represent the whole behavior of sinusoidal voltage and current. So the magnitude of phasors, it represent as a capital V and I, that shows the peak value of the oscillating wave. So as you observe in diagram, as we have already discussed earlier, the same diagram is represented over here, the sinusoidal form. Focus on to the B diagram, that voltage and current both are in same phase. Both are started with the 0 point onto the x-axis, and both values are simultaneously increasing and goes to 0 and again goes to the negative. Both are having only amplitude variation. Other way, frequency and phase is same. And as we know, current amplitude is reduced by the R compared to the voltage. So voltage amplitude is shown higher than the current amplitude. Now take any instantaneous time onto the x-axis, that is omega t1, it is represented, and take the point from the graph I and V and extend it towards the phasor diagram onto the A. So that extended value represent the amplitude of the wave, which is represented as a capital V for the voltage amplitude and capital I for the current amplitude. And the angle, it defines omega t1, that is a phasor angle from origin. It is rotated with the angular velocity, that is angular speed omega. So whatever the omega t time we have taken for the reference, by that angle it is rotated and moving from the origin. So capital I, that is, it shows the amplitude of the current for the Im sin omega t1, and capital V represent the voltage, that is for Vm sin omega t1. Here it is defined for 1 t1 time, because for that particular instant. So the voltage and current phasors and their relationship at time t1, it can shown for the resistor. And the projection we have already defined from the diagram onto the phasor or the phasors or the phasor diagram. And that phasors are rotated with the angular frequency omega. So V and I for the case of resistor are in the same direction as phase angle is 0 between the voltage and current for the resistor. Now instead of that resistor, let us use inductor. So now that AC voltage we are going to apply to the inductor. Inductor has their own internal resistance with their windings, but that is negligible, and right now we are assuming that inductor has no resistance. We are avoiding their negligible resistance value. So let us define that circuitry is a pure inductive with the AC source as inductor is connected, as shown in figure. Here the supply voltage V is Vm omega t. Same flow we are going to follow whichever we have done for the resistor. Our task over here is to mention that how AC voltage it is applied to the components. According to that, how the current is flowing through it, and by having that voltage and current value, what is the power amount and the power dissipation is available with that component. So the flow is common as we have done in resistor. Same thing we are going to do over here. To determine the current, apply the KVL, Kirchhoff voltage rule. So that is V equal to VL, or V minus VL equal to 0. V is the supply voltage, Vm sin omega t, and VL is the voltage drop across inductor, that is L di by dt, that we have already done in earlier chapter during this self-inductance analysis. The same equation we are going to use directly. So that equation became di by dt equals to V by L from that equation. So V is represented in terms of Vm sin omega t. So it would be Vm sin omega t by L. Now we want to determine the value of I, current. And here we have in terms of differentiation. So what we need to do? Take the integration at both the sides so we can get current I. So let us integrate from both the sides. So we are getting left hand side I, and right hand side, while we are going to do the integration, Vm by L is constant. So only the time dependent component is sin omega t. So let us integrate it with respect to time. Integration of sin omega t, that is cos omega t. And here the constant value is available, that is we consider as in 0. By considering that, the oscillations are available symmetrically about this 0, and the current is sustained oscillations also by that with respect to 0. So here and that constant value is time independent, so we are avoiding it, we consider as in 0. So that equation became I equals to minus Vm by omega L cos omega t, because integration of sine is cos omega t and integration of omega t, it would be 1 upon omega. So here integration of sine omega t is defined as a minus cos omega t and integration of omega t defined as a 1 upon omega. This is how the current equation became over here. Now here in the equation, as you can see, minus cos omega t, we are going to write down in terms of sine, because our source voltage, that is in terms of sine, Vm sine omega t. If we represent over here again in terms of sine, then we can betterly understand the phase difference is available between voltage and current. If both are denoted in the same function, then phase difference is visible directly. That's why whatever the current equation we obtain, minus Vm by omega L cos omega t, let us represent or rewrite cos omega t in terms of sine. For that, we need to write down that equation, that minus cos omega t equals to sine omega t minus pi by 2. If it would be cos omega t, then sine omega t plus pi by 2, and that form we are supposed to write down. Here the minus cos omega t is there, so write down sine omega t minus pi by 2. So that current equation can be rewrite in terms of Im sine omega t minus pi by 2. Now you can observe that in current equation, 3 parameters are there: amplitude, frequency and phase. Amplitude is Im, frequency in terms of angular frequency omega, and minus pi by 2 as in phase. So all these 3 parameters can be observed over here, and we can say that Im is omega m upon omega L, and Ohm's law is there, I equals to V by R. So in the denominator, resistance would be there. For the inductor, we supposed to say it's a reactance. So that reactance of the inductor can be denoted as XL. So XL equals to omega L. So Im equals to Vm upon XL, and its unit same as in resistance, ohm. So by focusing that current equation, we can say that there is a phase angle, phase difference is available between voltage and current. Let us represent, let us understand it. As you can see the B diagram, voltage is represented with the 0 angle, but current is with the minus pi by 2 angle is there. If it would be pi by 2, then we can say from the positive side the signal will be started for the current, but minus pi by 2 is there, so current will be started from the negative side. Pi by 2 angle, matlab it is started earlier. So at the 0 angle, voltage is 0, but current is available with maximum value, that pi by 2 ahead, right? So we can say that here, this is how the whole waveform is drawn. Voltage is started from the 0 and current is started from minus pi by 2, earlier pi by 2. So from the negative side with the 90-degree angle, current is already started. So here we can say that current phasor I is pi by 2 behind the voltage. Voltage is, if we take its phasor, take the omega t1 as a constant, that instantaneous value, extend towards a waveform and take its maximum value towards extend it in the phasor. So voltage value represent the amplitude V of the Vm sin omega t1 wave, and extended value from the current, it represent the amplitude of current I, That is for the waveform in sin omega t1 minus pi by 2. So we can say that over here current is negative, it is represent in fourth quadrant, and voltage is positive, it is represent in first quadrant. So there is a 90-degree angle, pi by 2 angle is available between current and voltage, but current is behind with the minus pi by 2. So we can say that it is available in that way with the 90-degree angle. So when we rotate it with the angular frequency omega, then they generate the voltage and current. And the inductive reactance is directly proportional to the inductance and the frequency of the current. Now, so we can say that current reaches its maximum value later than the voltage by the pi by 2 angle. Now we want to determine its power. So P equals to I into V. Put the value of current which I have determined. I equals to Im sin omega t minus pi by 2, and V as a given voltage, supply voltage, Vm sin omega t. So sin omega t minus pi by 2, we can represent minus cos. So minus Im Vm cos omega t into sin omega t. So that is minus sin omega t into cos omega t. That sin omega t into cos omega t we can write down in terms of 1/2 sin 2 omega t. So replace that value. So we have minus Im Vm by 2 sin 2 omega t. Now if we want to take average value, Im Vm is constant, so we have to take average of sin 2 omega t. And average of sin 2 omega t is 0, so average power is 0. Focus that average power for resistor, it is non-zero value, 1/2 Im square into R, and here that average power is 0. The whole operation we can understand from this diagram for the inductive purpose, that how the current voltage is flowing. So let us focus the first diagram in which current is, there is n number of turns are there for the coil. First end is defined as an A, another one is defined as a B. Now let us give the current from A to B. So magnetic field started to generate from A to B. So we can say that A point defined as a north pole and B point is defined as a south pole. As the magnetic field is started to generate, so with respect to that, voltage drop is available. So as we start to give the current, the voltage drop will be appear. So as you can focus in the diagram in the waveform over here, from 0 to 1, after giving that sinusoidal voltage in the positive, current starts to flow. It is increasing from 0 to maximum. At that time, the voltage was maximum as current start to generate. Before that, EMF is produced. As we know that, as the current is given or the voltage EMF is applied, after generating that EMF based on the magnetic field, EMF will produce, and as the EMF will produce, it will give the current. So here, as the supply is provided to it, magnetic field is generated. Magnetic field will generate the EMF, and accordingly current will generate. So here, first, initially EMF is present there, that is with the maximum value, and as EMF is going to change from positive to 0, current is generated from 0 to positive. So here from 0 to 1 we can get that 90-degree phase angle, and it will be continue accordingly. From 1 to 2 phase we can say that current is still positive, that if we from 1 to 2 we can say that supply voltage is negative. So according to that, generated EM is also going to be negative, and with that current at initial point was maximum, so current start to reduce. It is still positive, and that's why magnetic field is in the same direction as you can see in the diagram, north to south, but current value is going to be reduced from 1 to 2, and magnetic field strength is also reduced within that duration. Now let's focus that supply voltage is positive from 2 to 3 and the current is given from B to A. As the current is given from B to A, magnetic field is generated from B to A. So we consider that B and A as a north pole, A and as a south pole, and supply and voltage drop across it will be moving from maximum negative to 0, and current is reducing in the negative side as the current is flowing opposite side. So current is shown in the negative half. And then in the last part, current is reducing in the same negative part from maximum to 0. Magnetic field strength is reduces and the voltage drop is available in the positive half. So as you can observe in the diagram, in 4 parts we can relate the voltage and current value based on its operation. In the graphical representation, blue line shows the voltage and the black line shows the current. The shaded line defines the supply voltage. This is how the operation can be defined over here. So let us end our session now. Hope you understood. Thank you.